In 2011, police performed a traffic stop on a 19-year-old woman in Pearland, Texas. The woman knew she had warrants, so rather than provide her real identification, she gave police her sister's name. But since her sister also had an outstanding warrant, the woman was arrested and booked into jail in her sister's name. Police said she illegally signed forms and continued to use her sister's identity throughout all court proceedings. Apparently, the charges weren't serious enough to keep her locked up, so she was released. All she had to do was lay low and keep her mouth shut. Instead, in 2012, just 1 year after appearing in court, she took to social media and started taunting the police. She posted the following on her Twitter page: "I still got a warrant in Pearland. Those pigs will never catch me. Never." Mind you, she tweeted this while she was living on a college campus in Houston. The campus assistant chief said the university's police department does not randomly check a student's criminal background. They only do it if there is cause. So her traffic warrants would not have made her ineligible to live on campus. He also said that the university has a large student population from outside the area. So when someone is stopped, officers generally only run a local warrant check. But what the woman didn't realize was that police never give up searching for people with warrants. A lieutenant at the Pearland Police Department said officers frequently search for keywords such as Pearland to keep abreast of what's going on in town. So when her tweet came up, an officer saw it. He then printed out a screenshot and gave it to warrant officers. Interestingly, the woman's Twitter account listed her full name plus her school information. And since she had an uncommon first and last name combination, it was easy for police to single her out in their database. The next day, officers contacted the University Police Department in Houston and arranged for her arrest. After being booked into the Jefferson County Jail, Pearland warrant officers took custody and she was transported to the Pearland City Jail. Police said when she came in she was very subdued, not as animated as she was on her Twitter account. Officers verified they had 4 outstanding municipal traffic warrants, including failure to appear in court. But when police pulled up her booking photo, they saw her sister's name. Finally confronted with photographic and fingerprint evidence, police said she admitted to providing officers with her sister's information during her last arrest. For signing her sister's name after the arrest, misdemeanor charges of tampering with a government record were filed. She was also charged for giving police a false name. For most police agencies, traffic warrants are not a high priority. However, police said that her Twitter post likely put her at the top of the list with the Pearland Police Department. One officer had this to say: "We're used to being called out and being called names, mostly behind our backs, but she kind of put it out there, didn't she?" It's a pretty good theory that there was probably more effort in this case. In the end, she wound up posting a bond of $1,500 for failing to identify, another bond of $2,500 for tampering with a government record, and $1,877 for failure to appear on city warrants. Also, since her arrest on campus was a violation of the Student Code of Conduct, she was referred to the university's Student Affairs Division. No word on what action they took. And as you would expect, her Twitter account has since been deleted. In 2022, a man entered into a Chase Bank in Florida and walked up to the teller window. Seeing a pointed object under his shirt, the frightened teller handed the man $120 in cash. The man fled the bank as employees called police. But it didn't take the Pinellas County Sheriff deputies long to find him. According to police reports, they located the suspect near the crime scene less than 10 minutes after the robbery. They also said that the suspect didn't use a gun to rob the bank. Rather, he simply put his hand under his shirt to form the shape of a gun while demanding cash from the teller. Police wouldn't disclose exactly how they found him so quickly. They would only say that they used various investigative techniques. But from the bank robber's point of view, it must really be a bummer to rob a bank for only $120 and get busted in less than 10 minutes. And despite how he looks in his picture, police said he was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time. The 56-year-old man was arrested and charged with second-degree robbery. He was also awaiting trial on an unrelated charge of first-degree arson. And while his gun was fake, we know that the handcuffs they placed on him were very real. In 2023, a burglar broke into a plumbing supply store in Denver, Colorado. He managed to steal over $8,000 in plumbing tools and equipment. But while the theft was in progress, the store owner was watching on surveillance video. First, he noticed a hole that was cut in the fence surrounding the building. He could also see the thief inside the store. He then called the Wheat Ridge Police Department to report the incident. When officers arrived, they noticed something very strange. There was an Uber driver waiting nearby. Apparently, the thief had called the rideshare service to pick him up from the crime scene. Police then questioned the driver, who told them he was there to pick up a passenger named Jose. He then pointed to a man who was walking toward the car. The man was wearing a black hood and sweatshirt with his hands inside his pockets. Officers asked him if he was looking for an Uber, and he nervously replied, "No." When asked for his name, he told them his name was Raul. The man appeared to run, but officers immediately grabbed him. He then tries to convince them that his name is actually Raul and he was on his way to his mother's house. When told he matched the description of the thief, he assured them he was not the guy. However, he was unable to provide any identification to prove he was Raul. Officers then checked his backpack and noticed that it was full of expensive Milwaukee tools. They found more than $8,600 worth of electric tools in his bag.
Are you looking for an Uber?
No.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah, pero
You're matching the description of the
No,
of what the.
I gotta go for the house for my mom.
Okay.
For real, en serio.
Do you have a name? Do you have anything?
Yeah, Raul.
Do you have an ID on you?
No, not right now.
This backpack is full of Milwaukee tools.
Clearly, this wasn't a gift for Mom. The man was taken into custody, where fingerprint scanners confirmed that his real name was Jose. That shouldn't surprise anyone. The 26-year-old man was then booked under his real name on a number of charges. They included theft of more than $2,000, criminal trespassing, and false reporting to authorities. As one officer put it, "It may not be the best idea to have an Uber pick you up at the crime scene."